just this week about what parts of the supposed Biden agenda have just been totally pushed off. I mean, you mentioned the $15 minimum wage. We haven't heard anything about that in quite a while. But Biden's budget request doesn't include money for public option, something that was already the most conservative position of any of the Democratic candidates. That's now off the table. Prescription drug reform, just negotiating with drug companies. That's not in the budget request either. Also saying we're not actually going to eliminate any student debt. Not all of it, not 50,000, not 10, none of it. That's not being contemplated anymore. I mean, what do you make of that?
Not lowering the Medicare age. It is a flagrant rejection of all of his core campaign promises. And a couple of weeks ago, there were a flood of articles with quotes from progressives saying that Joe Biden had met their expectations. Joe Biden hasn't even met his own expectations that were set by his own campaign. There are political ads that are still up on his website where he's promising that the reason that we can't have Medicare for all, I understand, I'm a compassionate guy, I understand why it's appealing to people, but we can't start over from scratch. We have to reform Obamacare. We need a public option. And all of those promises were used to cleave Americans from the policies they really wanted, things that could really demonstrably change their lives, and settle on Joe Biden because he might not be the best, but he can beat Trump. And now he has flagrantly denied even those minimalist, incrementalist policies, and he hopes to have any chance at keeping Congress in 2022. He's setting himself up for failure. And the most cynical read of that would be to say he's doing so that he no longer has to pretend that it's a parliamentarian or Kirsten Sinema that's keeping him from doing any number of things, including by executive order, including passing parts of the George Floyd Act, I should add, since we're one day out from the anniversary of his murder. There are many things he could do by executive order, and he's choosing not to do them because he is motivated by different interests than the people that actually elected him.
Yeah. And the final dovetail on this is the way that he's able to do this and get away with it is the same way Democrats and Republicans have been able to pull this off for quite a long time. They're able to do this because they are shielded by the media. David Pakman, the Young Turks, MSNBC, CNN. A lot of people are not really engaged and not really paying attention, which makes it easy to trick and scam them and manipulate them and gaslight them. These people rely on the media they consume to enlighten them and break these things down in terms of what's actually happening. Right? They don't have the interest to do the investigation themselves. They're focused on their own lives, and they should be able to do this. Right? We should be able to focus on our own lives and not have to be our own journalists. But the reality is, since most people are not willing to do the research, that means they rely on the media to inform them. So when people like David Pakman and the Young Turks and MSNBC, when they protect Biden by not telling the truth, not telling their audience the truth about Biden and how he tricked them and manipulated them and gaslighted them, how the things that he promised very unlikely not going to happen. Look at how much talk that Trump as well and others have talked about gun safety. How much have they actually done about it? What's actually been done versus the amount of talk? Use that as your frame of reference. How many times have you heard Joe Biden talk about increasing minimum wage or college forgiveness since he was elected? Is it reasonable to expect that something that's not even being discussed is being worked on in secret and is magically going to happen? But the thing that they have talked a lot about, gun safety, that doesn't get done? Does that make sense? The big topic that has a huge emotional component to it. I mean, think about all these mass shootings. A lot of talk, not so much on the action. But we're supposed to believe that Biden and AOC, they're secretly working on a plan to deliver on the campaign promises. Ladies and gentlemen, I assure you they're not. And I agree entirely with what Briahna just stated. They might actually want to lose the Senate because it makes their job much easier. Think about being able to be a millionaire and make six figures, high six figures, and you don't even have to show up for work. Don't even have to do your job. If the boss actually comes in and says, hey, why haven't you done the inventory yet? Imagine if you could credibly say, I can't do the inventory because the shipping guys won't allow me access to do the inventory. I would love to do the inventory. Trust me. I don't want to sit here all day and do nothing. I want to do the inventory. But The shipping guys won't give me the tools that I need to do the inventory. I can't do the inventory. So talk to those guys. Millionaire. High six figures. What's your job? Blaming it on the next guy. Right now, Joe Biden has no excuses. He has all the power. He has the Senate and the House. He can do a ton of things. He can do easily the things he promised. He's choosing not to. And the media is allowing him to do that because by the media keep talking about how his approval rating is great and fawning over him. It's creating a perception that he's doing a great job. And in a contrast to what we had with Trump, people feel like we're back to normal. Things are opening up. Their guards are down. So all you need to finish the scam is for the media to keep quiet, right? People just be like, last year I didn't know what was going to happen in this country, and I thought democracy was going to end and the pandemic, and now it's opening up, and we have a normal president. He's not tweeting all the time. Things are pretty good. And then in 2022 they lose the Senate, and then so people starting to pay attention again. Then they'd be like, Republicans. This is the Baby Channel. The Baby comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell, be well.